Hopefully this motherfucker actually believes that he can fly, because he's going to be spending a lot of time in the clink. Not for very good things that people like to smile upon for those incarcerated. He's found guilty on all counts in sex trafficking trial. Yeah, I'm fighting for my fucking life. Well, guess what? You're going to have to fight a little bit harder there, R. He was found guilty today. Oh, that sucks. Of sexually abusing women, boys, and girls for decades. He's facing 10 years in prison for sexually abusing women, boys, and girls for decades. There's a two-tier justice system. Okay, capping the 90s R&B superstar stunning fall from grace. I'm not even going to pretend to know the entire story. We're just going to try to get through a lot of this before we go to that hurl-inducing second half of this. I believe I can fly. Crooner 54? God, he looks awfully good for 54. He's not going to stay that way, though. Was convicted on all 9 counts, including racketeering. Shit that people haven't been fucking prosecuted for since the 80s in New York, for Christ's sakes. And violations of the Mann Act. That's a Mann Act, which prohibits the transportation of any woman or girl across state lines for any immoral purpose. The jury of 7 men and 5 women deliberated for about 9 hours across 2 days before reaching their unanimous verdict. Wow, longer than they did for Derek Chauvin. That sucks. From the beginning of the month-long trial in federal courthouse in downtown Brooklyn, prosecutors painted Kelly as a predator. Well, if the shoe fits. He used his fame and a cadre of employees to prey on young victims. Yeah, after the fucking piss tapes in the early 2000s, if anybody fucking hooked up with this weirdo after the fact, I don't necessarily know if you're a victim at that point as much as you are complicit. This is a case not about a celebrity who likes to party a lot. He does. It just happens to be at middle schools, though. This is a case about a predator. Oh my god. Oh, he took off his mask. That's not good. To prove the racketeering charge against him, prosecutors showed jurors how Kelly used the network of friends and employees in his inner circle. Not that one. I don't think Jake Hager or Sammy Guevara had anything to do with this. To transport his victims across state lines, control their actions, and facilitate the sexual abuse. Prosecutors in the Eastern District of New York called a parade of witnesses who testified about their abuse from the disgraced singer subjected to them. First to take the stand, the accuser was Johanna Pace, who said Kelly repeatedly had sex with her over a course of several months, with the two exchanged numbers at the party in the singer's suburban Chicago mansion when she was under 18 years old. Okay, now, if she was snatched up and brought to that party, that's totally different. But if she was trying to pass herself off as being 18 at a party at R. Kelly's place, I got some problems with this bitch to begin with. But this is already done and dusted anyways. Yeah, this dude's really shook up because he's going to have to look for young pussy elsewhere now. During the last encounter, Kelly, whose full name is Robert Kelly, dude, allegedly became enraged at Pace because she was texting on her cell phone and did not address him when he walked into the room. She told jurors. God, this couldn't have been that long ago. Kelly smacked her in the face and forced her to suck his dick before he berated her, she said in court. Oh, that sucks. Put some respect on that name. You know how many platinum records this dude has? Come on now. During her testimony, she read from a journal, at times pausing to wipe away the tears. Glad the tears were the only things that needed to get wiped away. I went to Rob's house and he called me a bitch. Why would you go back then? He said I was a silly bitch. He slapped me 3 times and said if I lied to him, it's not going to be an open hand next time. Don't let there be a next time. Don't come back. He spit in my face and my mouth. He choked me during an argument. I had sex with him. I had oral sex with him. I went home and confessed. Hey, at least you didn't get pissed on. Pace said Kelly ejaculated on her face. She said, and she used her Aeropostale t-shirt. Why? Okay, cool. Was it a good absorbent? Like, what? Who gives a fuck about that? Kelly's attorney sought to cast Pace and her other accusers as hysterical fans who are obsessed with Kelly. It still doesn't. If you fucked somebody who's underage, bro, you gotta fucking fess up to that shit. So it doesn't really matter if they were hysterical fans. We're big Space Jam fans, just not the sequel. There are too many repressed memories that are getting unlocked. With Kelly, who concocted stories about him, and he refused their advances. Yeah, well, does she still have the t-shirt? Is this going to be like a Monica Lewinsky thing? It's like, I've got the dress. I've got the Aeropostale t-shirt. Okay. One of the victims was R&B singer Aaliyah, whom Kelly allegedly wed in Chicago hotel room in 1994 when she was 15 years old. For the illicit nuptials to move forward, Kelly relied on his entourage, prosecutors showed. Yeah, this dude's totally fucking weird. A former tour manager for Kelly testified in August that he bribed a Chicago area welfare office employee, of course, to make a fake ID for Aaliyah that insisted her age as 18. Kelly was 27 years old at the time. What a fucking weirdo. Prosecutors alleged Kelly married Aaliyah, who died in a plane crash at the age of 22. Oh, really? I didn't know she was sick. In an attempt to dodge criminal charges for having sex with a minor and to block her from testifying against him about the abuse. Okay. Another witness in the trial, a former backup dancer identified as Angela, told jurors that she witnessed Kelly performing oral sex on Aaliyah when she was 13 or 14 years old on a tour bus when they were traveling on. Defense attorneys called several witnesses as the trial wound down, relying on Kelly's employees and other people whose careers were closely tethered to the former star to cast him in a more positive light. How? Like HIV? Or I don't know how you spin this. One defense witness, music consultant Julius Darrington, testified he worked with Kelly for several years prior to his arrest and did not see Kelly abuse women. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't see it. He didn't bring them to my office. He worked with him in the Chicago studio, and they traveled across the country for shows, okay? Under cross-examination, Darrington said he had no knowledge of what Kelly did while he was not with him. An attorney for Kelly, Devereaux Canuck, said after the verdict, they would likely file an appeal. Obviously, that's why we're reporting on this, because this shit ain't going to be fucking going anywhere anytime soon. Because it'll get appealed, and then it'll get appealed further, and then blah, blah, blah. This will still be going on for fucking years at this point. We're all going to be dead and gone thanks to the glorious fucking meteor that's hopefully hurling towards this blue marble of death. But did not provide a timeline for when that could happen. It'll be soon. Ugh, Gloria Allred. Ugh. Who represents one of Kelly's victims. Okay, listen, I was on their side for a while until I seen that fucking blood-sucking, useless sack of shit poke her fucking head out. It's like Ben Crump and Al Sharpton. I almost forgot that fucking California Raisinette head's name for whatever reason. They're just such hustlers and grifters that they just always pop up whenever they're not really needed, but whenever there's a fucking good grift on the go. Spoke outside the Brooklyn courthouse after the verdict was read in a statement written by her client, identified as Sonia. I'm happy with the verdict and thankful that the jury listened to us. I've been hiding from Robert Kelly, in fear, due to the threats made against me. And I'm ready to start loving my life free from fear and to start the healing process. But wait, there's more. He was charged by state prosecutors in Minnesota with engaging in prostitution with a minor. What is wrong with you? And by federal prosecutors in Illinois for child pornography and obstruction. Yeah, God bless, bro. Hopefully you fucking serenade the halls of county for the rest of your life. But somebody who's clearly repressing some shit from earlier in their life, maybe they had an interaction with R. Kelly. Tess Holliday. Yeah, she was spotted, well, obviously, how could you miss her, at Disney World over the weekend. I seen this, threw up in my mouth a little bit, and thought, hey, this would be a fun way to just fucking end the festivities for the day. Tess Holliday cooled off with an ice lolly. Of course she did. How many more? A box, maybe? As she enjoyed a fun-filled day of not riding the rides because of the right weight requirements at Disney World, and soaked in everybody's sun in Florida on Thursday. The plus-sized model, the plus-sized model, 36. She looks like shit. Donned a black netted top, and we're going to show you pictures of that just in case you're enjoying this with any dinner and you just really want to enjoy it again. A black netted top. Actually, that's what she escaped in because the fisherman didn't quite have a tight enough grasp on it. And a black mini skirt. Oh, trust me, at that size, nothing's mini. For the outing, along with a pair of custom studded black Mickey Mouse ears. Yeah, that was just the leather that was left over from the mini skirt, so I just decided to do something fun with it. Tess shared a slew of snaps from the day on Instagram stories, and they got age-gated for decency reasons, as she encouraged fans to come along and stand in her orbit, and it was a sweaty day. Yay, so bring towels. So if you were looking for her at the meetup, wouldn't have been hard to find. That's a skirt. Okay. Earlier this year, Tess spoke about how she was anorexic and in recovery after decades of struggling with body image and backlash over her weight. Flooring companies around the world have come out in support of her new stance on anorexia, saying that they have supplied them with many years of renovations ahead, and they hopefully that she continues her success against anorexia. Tess, who found fame as a plus-size model on many a double issue and a body-positive activist, took to social media over the weekend to open up about her eating disorder. Of course, something has to explain this special, exhausting, and sweaty day. Oh, but that's not fair. I'm glad that she had a nice day with somebody's kid there. I mean, the exhibits from SeaWorld have to go do something on their days off, I guess, so that's cool. And because the first story was so dark, even though we made a hell of a lot of jokes about it, I thought that we'd finish everything off with somebody who's going to get the Yokozuna treatment for their fucking funeral in the next couple of months. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.